Good morning. Welcome to Energy Workz. Today we're talking about the power of essential oils. So, lucky for me, I got to go and to the doTERRA conference up in the Gold Coast, and it was lovely to see all the beautiful oils that they had and the talks that were given. I thought it was a particularly good conference, and they talked about some people's personal experience with dealing with some of life's most difficult situations and how they use their essential oils and their friendship base and their team to help them get through the difficult times. So they recently released 3 new packs. One is a one for mental load, one is for hormonal balance, and the other one was for weight loss. So it's interesting to see their products. Some of the products were already available before, but they've packaged them together for a discount. So interesting, because that's probably the things that most people are concerned about: their weight, their mental health, their hormone balance, particularly in the world that's full of toxins, and particularly many of the body products that are available now are often have endocrine disruptors. So it's like we use things that we don't realize are going in our skin and causing damage to our hormone receptors. So sort of knowing that there are things that we can do to help our body be a little better is always good. All right, so let's say I'm okay with using essential oils. Good morning, Margaret. It's safe to use them. I'm ready to use them. I'm willing to use them. I'm able to use them. So some people don't feel like they're able to use them. And some people can be very sensitive, and they might need to use a diluted version or use it in the diffuser rather than using it directly on their body. So it's like using oils in a way that works for you. And some people are very sensitive, and it's like they may only be able to use them very sparingly. But to me, the oils are very powerful in their effect, both physically and emotionally. And I did have an experience with a son years ago that was not in a good headspace, and was when I was introduced to oils and was totally unaware of the power of them. And I muscle tested some oils to use for this particular child. And anyway, I came home, and when he wasn't home, I lifted up his pillowcase and put the oils under the pillowcase. And shortly after that, he began letting me use the oils and to work on him when he wasn't in a good headspace. And years later, I asked him when I first did that, had he smelt the oils? And he said he didn't. So I was totally amazed that they had an effect, even though he didn't actually realize he was smelling them. So you don't know the effect that you have on other people. Good morning, Catherine. She said she's here with her 6,000 generations of logs to make sure we have enough to do. Love it. We all have generational baggage. Makes me laugh. All right, let's talk about the throat chakra. Because sometimes we find it hard to express ourselves, or we don't feel that people, want to hear what we have to say, or we don't feel valued or consulted, or that we're an important part of our family. All right, my throat and vocal cords are opening and smoothing. My printer's saying hello. Okay. So sometimes when we don't feel like we're able to speak up, particularly if it's a particularly emotionally charged situation, you can get a very sore throat instantly in the situation where you can't speak up or where you feel hurt or misunderstood. So it's like often the energy gets trapped here. And I know from my own experience that that's been a big problem for me. So it's like it's been hard to express. Mind you, I could probably talk with marbles in my mouth, but anyway. All right. This is from Jenny Rosengren's book. I release to the light all energy or entities that do not belong to my energy system. So I like that one. I am faith. I quickly eliminate any hurt feelings. And sometimes it's hard to protect yourself from the hurt feelings. Sometimes we just don't feel like we can, and sometimes we wear it. We really feel strongly in our body the hurt that people have inflicted upon us, and sometimes they have no concept of that they've done that. They have no clue. And so it's like important for us to be able to release what gets stuck in our throat. All right, so let's use an oil. So we're talking about spearmint oil here. So spearmint is the oil of confident speech. So this is from my very bashed up Essential Emotions book. I have a nice new one at work. Spearmint can be a helpful remedy for those who struggle with communicating clearly for a wide range of reasons, from feeling scattered and inarticulate to stumbling over words. It assists individuals in becoming emotionally clear about what they want to say and then saying it. In short, spearmint can help individuals access their inner light and convey that light to the world with clarity and confidence. So I think that's really important, because the things that we feel to say are important. They may not always be received. Oh, hi, Kathy. All right, so another companion oil to this is clary sage. So it's about clarity and vision. Clary sage teaches the spirit how to use its divinely given gifts and is especially helpful in clarifying spiritual vision. It assists in developing the gift of discernment, which is a very powerful gift, isn't it? Being able to understand what we should react to, or what we should respond to, and what we should let go. Clary sage invites individuals to expand their vision and accept the reality of the spiritual world. And sometimes when we're not in a good place, in a world of pain, whether it's physical or emotional, it's hard to believe that we're actually going to get help, or that we're going to be able to get through whatever the trial is that we're going through. Sometimes we just feel like we can't get through, or we don't want to. We'd rather not get through it. All right, so the clarity sage can help us to be a bit more spiritually discerning. All right, we might use something from Kim's book here. She wrote beautiful affirmations for different oils. I center and ground my scattered thinking, developing accurate memory and realistic ideas. I easily empty my mind of distractions and step into the present moment. From this state of emptiness, the forces of creativity unfold and I follow them. Yeah, sometimes we can get stuck in a past moment or in a past situation and feel like we're unable to step out of that. When in love, I love with my mind, body, and spirit. I expand my vision and accept the reality of the spiritual world. I feel that many problems that our families have, we agreed to be part of the solution, and we agreed that we would help work through and endure these problems to help our family and to help our, relatives that are yet to come. And we all need each other. All right, so we're going to have our spearmint oil and our clarity sage to help us have clarity and vision. And the back part of our brain is our visual part. So you can put it just under the base of your skull is where the blood vessels go into your brain. So another oil that's very good for your brain is frankincense. And they talked a lot about frankincense at the oil conference. Now, they were talking about it in terms of helping your DNA to repair. And of course, we know that it helps with pain and inflammation. So you can use a drop in the roof of your mouth, just where it changes to the soft palate. Don't gag. And I would put the frankincense on any part of your body that's painful. All right, so frankincense supports in creating a healthy attachment with one's father. It assists in spiritual awakening and helps individuals feel the love of the divine. When they have felt abandoned or forgotten, frankincense reminds them that they are loved and protected. I like that. While this oil is incredibly powerful, it is also gentle, like a loving father who nurtures, protects, and guides. Frankincense shields the body and soul from negative influences and assists the soul in its spiritual evolution. Enhancing practices of prayer and meditation, this oil opens spiritual channels that allow an individual to connect to God. Through the light and power of frankincense, the individual can draw closer to divinity, healthy masculinity, and the grandeur of the true self. So sometimes our true self gets a bit lost in the world, doesn't it? All the things that are happening in the world that we can feel the negativity of, and sometimes when we're stuck in a world of pain or we feel like our body's not improving as we would like it to improve, we can get lost. All right, so they're suggesting 1 to 2 drops under the tongue, either in a capsule or in water, or as I said before, you can put it directly in the roof of your mouth. They're also suggesting some of the ancient oils as companions. So we don't talk about those much. See if I can find the page. All right, so in there is galbanum, which is about soul purification, and myrtle, which is about progression. Hyssop and cistus. So let's talk about hyssop particularly. Hyssop is a holy plant integral to many cultures' spiritual rituals. It is used for cleansing and sanctifying individuals before they engage in sacred practices. It reassures those who are weighed down by guilt that they are neither defined nor condemned by their mistakes and failures. It speaks to the desperate desire to be redeemed and teaches that they are not lost. There is always a reason to hope. It helps them realize that their pain prepared them for deeper learning, and their broken hearts created a conduit for divine connection. Hyssop walks individuals through the veil in their minds, maintaining their separation from God. It invites them to relinquish the shame pressing on their souls so that they can come to know the unconditional love of the divine and complete their journey. So that sounds beautiful. Okay. So now we're going to go into the crown chakra. I'm connected to my earth family and my spirit and my heavenly family. All right, so earth family is strong, heavenly family is not so strong. This goes back to age 3. Something to do with your dad. Was your dad hard to connect to? Was your dad emotionally available? Sometimes they were not. And then we can feel that we are not the, we can feel that we're the problem, that why we're not being loved in the manner that we would love to be loved, or that we're not heard or valued. I am fun and spiritual. So sometimes we can be fun and sometimes we can be spiritual, but we need a bit of both. My work in life brings me joy. There are times that it does, isn't it? And there are times that we feel like, life can feel hard and difficult, and it's like we're crawling on our hands and knees. All right, a little bit from Jenny's book on the crown chakra. My heart is opening and flowing. So sometimes we can get very, here Catherine's asked the question, how often should you reply it with the roller? Well, you could start with like 3 times a day. And I would use it at times too, even if you just smell the roller when you're feeling very stressed. So generational baggage from dad's side of the family is preventing us from having an open heart that flows. So just dad. I am resolving and releasing all my problems. Resolving, yes. Releasing, no. So generational baggage from mum's side of the family. Mum's mum, but the men on that side of the family tree. 3 generations past mum's mum. All right, age 3 again. Sometimes we may not remember exactly what happened at 3, but it may be the first time we become aware that we don't feel connected, or we don't feel the love that we'd like to receive from our family or from God. I am processing my thoughts and feelings appropriately. So sometimes our feelings are very intense and we feel bad about having them, but they're, real, and sometimes they're ours and sometimes they're generational feelings. I am thriving, fueled by positive energy. Age 18. More generational baggage from mum, preventing us from having, from being fueled by positive energy. Age 9. So where were you? What were you doing when you were 9? What pops in your head? So generational baggage as well from dad's mum and the women on that side of the family. '73 generations, so quite goes a little way back. So now we're going to jump up into the 10th chakra, the Soul Star one, which is about, all the things that are presented to us in life. the good, the bad, and the ugly. Our weight comes up here in this one. So our weight is in response to our feelings. Age 8. $17. 42. 53. 68. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Janet. So we're talking about how the essential oils help us and help change our body. So we were talking about the weight being stuck in the 10th chakra, and the weight was in response to feelings that we've had at different ages. All right, so the oil console. Console helps ease burdens, assist in experiencing a serene heart and mind, and guides individuals towards emotional rest. Now, Console has frankincense in it as well. So it can help you feel like you can heal. And many of us have had really difficult experiences. Many people worse than I've experienced, and it is hard to get past those experiences sometimes, and they can get trapped in your body. So, of course, we're talking about weight here, so these experiences can be stuck in our weight. I am a success even when things around me get tough. I see my problems as lessons of growth, not as failure. Because often we can see things as failure. Why do I have this problem? How have I let myself get to this position? So where in your body is telling you stuff is stuck? Where can you feel it? All right, I think this one came up before. I'm processing my thoughts and feelings appropriately. Catherine's saying, that's me. First response is negative. Yeah. In my head, I can say first response can be critical as well. So it can be critical of myself or it can be critical of other people. All right, stuck in our mind. All right, so gentleness. I treat everyone with respect and kindness. That includes us. I show strength when I am meek and mild. I no longer need to defend myself. So energy leaking from our aura now. Layer 4. So current females. Catherine says, I have a sore hip and shoulder, but I have an appointment with you. Okay. Okay, so this is, I haven't used this much, but this is in the back of the Essential Emotions book. It talks about body parts. So it's talking about, in the shoulders, it says, represents the burdens one is carrying. And of course, some of them are the physical and emotional burdens of this life, but some of them are generational burdens that we agreed to carry with our ancestors. So feeling overwhelmed. And the questions that they ask are, am I carrying burdens that are not my own? Am I anxious about protecting myself against the future? All right, so dad's mum and the women. "412 generations of women." That's lots of people's stuff that you're carrying, isn't it? All right, so let's say I'm doing a great job of my life, because often we don't feel like that. We often judge ourselves compared to other people and how they're doing their life, and especially with social media, very dangerous, because people, of course, only put up pictures of good stuff. They don't show you when they're not good or not happy or not doing well. So it's like we can compare the worst days of us to the best days of someone else in a picture. So I guess if you think about the generational stuff, it's like we can be helping to clear the stuff, but I feel like they are also helping to carry us. So stuck in the hip is a feeling of despairing and being traumatized. What emotions are my hips holding on to? All right, so we're just looking up some emotions. Subconscious belief that life must have burdens. So that one goes back to Dad's mum. All right, Catherine's saying, that's my hip. I feel traumatized, more like shell shock. Yeah. So Dad's mum, the men, 33 generations of men. And more stuck emotions. Tired of trying to prove yourself. Age 8, 14, 20, 24, 25, 26. So you can see different times get stuck in different parts of our body. All right, so now we're going to talk about the right foot. So particularly in the heel. So the heel's jammed up too high. So this can happen when we're in that fight or flight mode, because it's like our calves and our piriformis muscles, though that goes from your sacrum to your hip, they're connected to our adrenal glands. So when we're in situations where we don't feel safe, we go into fight or flight, our calf muscles get very tight and they pull our heels up. And so then we're more likely to have feet problems and we're not walking in a good way. All right, fear, this is in the heel. Fear and hesitancy of moving away from family and family values. And feeling violated. Sometimes we can feel like that through our family, isn't it? Like different members of our family might violate our body, or they might violate our mind or our spirit by their words or their actions. Am I feeling stepped on, or as if people walk over me? So this comes through mum. So just mum. So some people's mums are some people's mums can be doormats. Some people's mums can, allow people to step on them, which is not good. So it's like deciding that we're going to move past that pattern and allow ourselves to be who we're meant to be. So timeline, so conception to birth. So 4 months in utero. So I'm sure the reality of mortality can be overwhelming. To understand things in theory and by our spirit is one thing, and we're prepared to go and do these things. But I think the reality hit is hard sometimes, of what we have said we would do and what we're coping with, and the insults and attacks that we've had on our body and our mind and our energy field in our lifetime can feel hard to release. So the third layer of the aura, leaking energy, females from the past, age 6. So the seventh layer of the aura, stagnant energy accumulating there. Again from age 6. So tell me about your age 6. Where were you? What were you doing? How did you feel stuck? So the left side of the body, the taking side. So we've got the left is can be spiritual direction and feminine side, protecting, receiving, the taking side. So sometimes we're not good at taking or receiving. I allow myself to receive as a no. Age 4. Age 20. Layer 4 of the aura, leaking energy. Catherine's asking, is it normal not to remember anything from early childhood, or do you block it out consciously? Sometimes I think we block things out unconsciously because it was difficult or painful, and it's like kind of locked away to not bother us until we're ready to deal with it. The feeling that's stuck here is lack of inner peace. And so, if you live in a difficult family, it is hard to be able to be peaceful and have your own thoughts. It's like your whole life becomes about not getting in trouble or not being seen sometimes or not being attacked. Neurotic attachments affecting emotional nature. So it can be an attachment to our father, and may or may have not been exactly what we needed, and we can want to be attached to them even though it may not always be a healthy relationship. So we're going to ask to release trauma from our relationships with our fathers. So dad's side of the family and the men. "136 generations of men." So these are quite deep, hard patterns. I forgive myself that I wasn't loved in a manner that I would like to be loved. I no longer measure myself on the love that I was given, because sometimes it's not about us. It's about how stuck our parents were and perhaps how damaged they were in that they couldn't give love, or they couldn't give love in an appropriate manner to us. All right, so another oil. So Manica, so it's the oil of being upheld. Manica offers energetic safety and shielding from the intense problems all around that individuals feel powerless to change. Once individuals surrender the weights and burdens they carry, they are free to connect to the overflowing divine goodness waiting for them. Manica helps individuals understand they occupy a unique space in the universe. There is always enough for them, and they will be taken care of. It reminds that even though there are things to grieve, divine love will return beauty for ashes. And we might add to that Melissa oil. Melissa is the oil of light. Through the intense light and vibration this oil has to offer, individuals may feel they cannot help but let go of feelings of darkness, despair, and other low vibrations that are holding them down. It teaches the joy of living. And sometimes life can feel very dark, very heavy. And the bad team want us to feel like they don't want to feel that we can, be loved, be helped, be healed. And Catherine said, "Yeah, that's me. I think I missed out on love." Yeah, some families were not good at love. Sometimes it's so much caught up in safety and survival that love was just not a thought. It's like, this is what we have to do to survive. All right, another companion oil to Melissa is Tulsi or holy basil. So it's about spiritual integration. So Tulsi aids in harmonizing the conscious and unconscious mind. This unified energy meets in the center or heart of one's being. This exceptionally high vibration oil shifts negative mental and emotional states almost instantly. It is excellent for individuals feeling overcome by stress and emotional dysregulation. It penetrates the deepest emotional wounds and offers an invitation to heal what remains unresolved or previously unreachable. This oil is a powerful ally for healing the heart and choosing into one's emotional work. So sometimes we just feel like we got catapulted into the emotional work, whether we liked it or not. And sometimes it's like face first in the pile of poo. So this is still about Tulsi or holy basil. It's a sacred and highly valued herb in India. It is considered indispensable as nothing compares with its majestic qualities. It has a host of beneficial uses, including being a powerful adaptogen for many body systems, acting to balance and restore areas that have become weakened or blocked. It enhances prana or life force energy, and restores energetic flow for healing body, mind, and spirit. Right, another oil. I'm just going through all the C's. Citrus bloom. It's about new beginnings. This blend is an ally during well, it's talking about when one chapter ends and another one starts. So this blend is an ally during the change, where what is about to emerge still remains unseen. This combination of essential oils is wonderful for clearing stagnant energies which are keeping individuals immobilized. It also encourages them to accept where they've come from and see the necessity of their previous experiences. So sometimes we feel it was awful that the things that happened to us were awful, which is true, they were awful. But it's like, what do we learn through this experience? It reminds that while one can always learn from past mistakes, an abundance of compassion is essential while processing regret. And often we can regret what has happened in our lives and the difficulties that we've faced and the feelings and the experiences that have happened to us. Citrus bloom encourages individuals to really listen to themselves and honor the messages. Bright, optimistic energy lifts individuals when they feel within it's time to start anew. It invites them to trust there is purpose in each step they take and to believe in the promise of each new dawn. All right, so you might use this oil to feel optimistic. Sometimes we don't feel optimistic, we just feel down in the doldrums. All right, we're going back to the chakras. So we're going to go into the 11th one, which is the galactic one. So the galactic chakra deals with the Akashic records. So, which is like a database of every word, thought, or action that is stored energetically and encoded in a non-physical way. So this chakra is said to store all our thoughts, experiences, and feelings, and is sometimes referred to as the book of life. It is said that every detail of our lives is to be held there. Fasting is important here. So sometimes we can just do like intermittent fasting, or sometimes we can fast for a particular spiritual purpose. The oil cedarwood comes up. So cedarwood's about community. I'll use Kira's book. All right. I honour my individuality, but at the same time recognise my enjoyment of communing with others and the value of my contribution. I feel my connection to the human family and easily form social roots. Sometimes we can isolate ourselves and we can feel very separate from everyone. But we know the Saviour always had his hands out and he was always welcoming. He never said you can't come. I release my excessive self-reliance and learn to accept support from my family, friends, and community. So one of the talks at the doTERRA conference was about a girl that ruptured a disc in her back, and she basically was in bed for 6 months. And so she was a person, she called herself a human doing, not a human being. And so she had to allow people to help her. She had to allow her church community to help her friends, her family. Everyone had to help because she couldn't do things herself. So sometimes it is important for us to allow other people in to help us. And this is how we make deeper connections with people. I give and receive, now experiencing the strength of groups and the joy of relationships. In time of crisis, I hold firm, even against persistent external forces, enabling me to resist the sudden events and powerful emotions that could undermine my confidence and morale. Okay. So, I think the next Energy Works get together we have is at the end of September. So I'll check on the date and get back to you with that. And we still have, for anyone that's done Energy Works before, we're doing an advanced course. So you don't have to be particularly wonderful. It's just like a bit more learning about different muscles, epigenetics, some of the values, like we talked about gentleness today. So you're welcome to come. It's the 29th, 30th, and 31st of October. We've had a change of date. So let me know if you're interested, and it's always good to keep learning, and it's always good to mix with like-minded people. But anyway, thank you to those that got up early in the cold and joined in the call. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the comments and your efforts. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Catherine. All right, and thank you to Jackie and Janet and Kathy and any others that are on the call that I haven't said hello. Appreciate you and appreciate the efforts that you're making to live your life in the best way that you know how. All right, so sending love and hugs. See you.